Sorry, I arrived a bit late. I had to refresh myself after a wonderful class that we had. Before we start, I just wanted to kind of check who was here yesterday. Okay. So maybe what I'm going to say now in the beginning will be a little bit repetitive, but I think it's always important to kind of like start setting some things, let's say, establishing some things. So first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Helena Martins. I'm from Brazil. I identify myself as a cisgender woman. I go by she and her. I'm a daughter of a Portuguese descent mother and an indigenous father. I moved to Madrid 4 years ago, and I love living in Spain. What I do for a living is that I work for Google. I do public policy there, and part of my job is also to work with diversity and inclusion. And I do some work around Latin American people, as we are. And that's basically who I am. For this next hour, or a little bit, hopefully over an hour, just a tiny bit, what I would like to propose is that we are going to be listening from these lovely women about their experiences, their thoughts, and I would invite you to approach this as more of a dialogue, in the sense that we are open to hear, we are open to learn, instead of a debate where we listen to try to find what is wrong with what the person is saying, or trying to prove your point. And I would also say that we are going to talk about racism, we are going to talk about cultural appropriation, social problems, so forth and so on. And some of these topics, because it's not something that most of us talk often, it might generate some uncomfortable feelings. And just the fact that it generates uncomfortable feelings doesn't mean that this conversation is a bad conversation. It means that we are not used to talking about this, and maybe we haven't thought about these things before. So I also invite you that if you feel that, take a deep breath, take it easy, try not to react in the moment, because sometimes when we feel so much, maybe it's good to understand why we are feeling everything that we are feeling in that moment. Is that all right? Great. Yesterday I said that we were going to sit on a circle because I don't like hierarchy. So I always think that it's good that we sit in a circle so we feel that we are part of the community and that we are together in these conversations. But I'm going to say that just because I'm here with this fabulous woman, I don't mind that they have all the space and attention, and it's all about them, to be very honest. So if we could start by you presenting yourself, tell us a little bit about your life, where you were born, how you started to dance. Yes, so we can get to know you a little bit.
Ok, bueno, me voy a expresar en castellano, porque antes me he pegado el postureo de hablar en inglés, pero ya pro. Vale, entonces, bueno, yo nací y me crié aquí en Barcelona. Mi familia viene de Mali, mis padres, gracias a Dios están los dos aquí conmigo. Y bueno, la verdad que el tema del baile siempre ha estado muy presente en mi vida, en mi día a día. Sí, no sé si quieres ir.
So I'm going to translate it in the first person, but just bear in mind it's her or her who are speaking. I'm going to express myself in Spanish right now because that's the way I feel my words come naturally. I was born, my name is Fatu. Her name is Fatu. Yes, I was born here in Spain. My parents are from Mali. Thankfully, they're both in here with me. The way that I started dancing...
Exacto, entonces no sabría recordar como una fecha o un momento concreto en el que empecé a bailar porque siento que es algo siempre incorporado en mi vida. Siempre en las bodas, en los bautizos, se iba a bailar, en las reuniones familiares había música siempre. Es algo que culturalmente está muy dentro de nosotros y no es algo que yo de repente con 8 años decía a la mamá, apúntame a bailar.
So dancing comes naturally to me. It's not that I can remember an exact date for me where did I start dancing, because in celebrations, family reunions, weddings, or stuff like that, like it was part of my culture. And it's not that I can recall, okay, when I was 8 years old, my mom, she signed me up in a dance school. No, it came naturally to me.
Sí, y entonces a mediados de, sí, cuando tenía unos 20 años, 20, 19 años, entré en un grupo de baile y ahí empezó como mi carrera más profesional a nivel de bailarina, y ya no tanto de bailar en la calle con los amigos o en los parques o en tal, sino que pasé de bailar en la calle a estar en aulas de, bueno, en escuelas de danza.
So when I was about 20 years old, I joined like a crew and I started my dance career. I stopped. It's not that I stopped, but it was more like stopped training in the streets and became more professional, and that's how my career started.
Sí, y bueno, digamos que a partir de ahí hubo un cambio radical porque se profesionalizó lo que yo, o sea, simplemente hacía como algo que amaba. A partir de ese momento lo pude monetizar y hacer algo que amaba y a la vez que se me pagara por ello.
So in that moment that I started doing this, it was something that, okay, something that comes natural to me. It can be my profession and I can make money out of it because it also became popular, you know? So it's just try to make profit out of it.
Y tengo que recalcar que para mí es importante decirlo, que no he recibido ningún tipo de formación académica para hacer lo que hago y ni la creo necesaria porque es algo, un ente cultural, no es ballet clásico de Moscú.
So what is very important to recall that I didn't receive any academic or professional training as it is, because it's something that comes within myself and my culture, and it's something that comes from the streets. It's not that it's professional ballet or contemporary arts. So that's very important for you to bear in mind.
Annette, before you go, I forgot something that Alba had asked me to say that I forgot yesterday. We're filming, and we're gonna stop.
Hi.
Vas ahí con cara, espérate que me siento bien.
And we are gonna stop filming when we go to the questions, all right? Just to let you know. Sorry, Annette.
Hola. Hola, ¿qué tal? Yo soy Annette. También me expresaré en castellano porque mi inglés es nulo, lo siento. Y bueno, yo nací en República Dominicana, soy de padres dominicanos y vine a España con 12 años. Actualmente tengo 31.
So my name is Annette. I will also speak in Spanish because that's how I can express myself. I was born in the Dominican Republic. Both my parents are Dominicans, and I came to Spain when I was 12 years old.
Y bueno, mi carrera artística a nivel de baile es un poco similar a la de mi compañera, porque empecé a bailar también aproximadamente a una edad parecida, quizás un par de años más tarde, y entré en el mismo grupo de baile en el que ella formaba parte.
Annette, quizás puedes poner el micrófono un poco más cerca.
Hola. Sí. Me lo tengo que acercar mucho. Hola. Bueno, habla así.
So my professional career as a dancer is similar to my friend Fatu because it was something that was cultural for me as well. I spent most of my life dancing in the streets, and it became more professional also when I was about 20-something, 22, 23, and I joined the same group as Fatu, and that's how we met.
Y bueno, yo sí que también, igual que Fatu, desde República Dominicana siempre he estado muy relacionada con el baile. Allí existen lo que son los colmados, que son tiendas pequeñas donde se vende la comida a peso, y siempre hay bachata. Todo el día hay bachata, todo el día. y por la calle, pues la gente se pone a bailar en medio de la calle. Tú ya lo vas absorbiendo de alguna manera. Sí que es verdad que...
So yeah, it's something that, as I say, is cultural for me because in the Dominican Republic we have something that are called colmados, which are similar to bodegas or stores in which you go and buy food and you always listen to bachata, so people are always dancing on the streets and it's something that is very common.
Pero sí que es verdad que con 6 años mi madre, porque yo me crié solo con mi madre, me apuntó a una escuela de baile de ballet, pero estuve solo 8 meses porque económicamente no podía. O sea, no podía invertir en vestuario y todo, y por eso salí y ya no me formé hasta los 20 y pico, igual que Fatu.
It is true that when I was about 6 years old, my mom, she signed me up on a dance school to learn how to dance ballet. It's important that you know that I was only raised by my mom and I could only go to that dance school for 8 months because due to the lack of economical resources, I couldn't continue. So my dance career continued and started again when I was 20-something.
Y para terminar mi presentación, lo primero, el principal en lo que me empecé a formar fue en dancehall, y luego ya me fui también formando en el twerk. Pero actualmente son los 2 estilos que domino y bueno, ya con mi compañera voy introduciéndome en el mundo.
And just to end my presentation, I started my formation as a dancehall or dancehall dancer and then twerk dancer, which are the 2 styles that I teach and use them more. But now I am slowly introducing myself to the Afro-fusion styles.
And that's it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the translation, Agnes. You did a wonderful job. It's not easy. It's not easy. So I think my question is also a bit connected to what you're saying, Annette. Because, and you also said that, Agus, when you were translating, that Afro dances, and you said yourself in your class that you don't like to call it like that because, of course, there are so many countries with so many different styles in Africa, and then you put everything together and people kind of like think that it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. But my question is, nowadays you see that many styles from Africa exploded. They are everywhere, including dancehall that comes from Jamaica, but it's everywhere. So my question to you is, and it's also, I'm going to say my perspective, and you please correct me if I'm saying something that you do not agree with, but I also see this interest in this tendency to create new steps, innovate in the style, so forth and so on. So my question is, how do you, when you are in a dancing style that has, I don't know, exploded, continue to keep it close to the roots, to the values of the dance, to your culture?
A ver, sí que es verdad que todo este tema de fusionar estilos realmente son los propios jóvenes africanos que fusionan, porque también tendemos a pensar en que África echa como hacia afuera, pero África también recibe globalización. África también absorbe, que muchas veces se nos olvida.
So it's important to bear in mind that most of the steps that are created right now or fusion are made by young African, the youth. And it's important also to understand that as we receive from different countries of Africa, Africa is also receiving. So it's part of like the globalized system that we live in.
Sí, entonces muchas veces es un proceso natural, ¿no? Como no quiero llamarle avance, simplemente de cambio, pero muchas veces es un proceso forzado, porque Occidente marca las pautas muchas veces.
So it's also important to know that sometimes that fusion or that progress that we have in dance, it's natural, but some other times it's forced because the Occident world that we live in, it marks like when do we have to do certain things, or where do we have to advance, or what should be new.
Ahora digamos que esta dinámica se está un poco igualando porque desde la época de la superinformación, los smartphones, las tablets, YouTube, hay muchas personas que ya desde el continente también tienen una smartphone, aunque no sea un iPhone de 1.500 euros, pueden grabar su vídeo y también subirlo a redes. Y eso le da un poco más de igualdad de oportunidades a la hora de reconocerse internacionalmente.
So due to globalization and the fact that we are all connected, it's not only here, but they also have the chance to become recognized as well and acknowledged by the work that they're doing. And at some point, it gives some equal opportunities.
En este aspecto solo. Entonces, es cierto también que siempre hemos tendido desde Occidente a generalizar África como un todo un uno. O sea, la gente me ha preguntado a mí, ¿hablas africano? Y yo le respondo, ¿y tú hablas europeo? Entonces, es como, no bailo afro, porque igual tú no bailas euro y tú no bailas América. Entonces, es decir, obviamente nosotros como continente dividido por los antiguos colones tenemos muchas cosas en común. Han habido etnias separadas en diferentes países.
So it's very important also to bear in mind that the Occident world always treat us as a whole, and they think that Africa is a whole thing, and they treat us like, they even asked me, do you speak African? And no, like, do you speak Euro? Do you speak American? That's how you do. I don't dance Afro. We are 54 countries, and we're all diverse, and we have our languages. It's the same as in the rest of the continents, right?
But I think she also mentioned something that I think it's quite interesting, which is because of the colonization.
Yeah, because of the colonization. Because of the colonization as well. Well, they're also seen as a whole, and that's why they're all put like in the same bag.
¿Sabes? Hay muchos entes culturales que compartimos, hay muchos platos de comida que se parecen. Por ejemplo, el idioma tradicional de mi familia que yo hablo se habla también en Gambia y se habla también en Senegal. Pero esas similitudes no tienen en este aspecto que ver como con la danza. O sea, por ejemplo, el cupe de Calais de Costa de Marfil no tiene nada que ver con el kuduro de Angola.
So there are some certain cultural items that we share, such as my language. Sometimes we share it with some other countries, but it's not just because of, or also dishes, but it's not that because of that we're all the same, right? So it's not that, for example, the styles that they dance in the Ivory Coast, which is Coupe de Calais, it's not that they're going to dance it the same in Ghana, for example. So, yeah, we're similar, but we're different.
Exacto. Y quería decir algo más, pero no sé si se me ha olvidado. Sí. Entonces, el tema de la fusión, que es donde ahí está el fin del asunto, yo creo que lo que decíamos, no debe marcar las pautas Occidente, sino las personas afrodescendientes que están haciendo este trabajo allí, por un lado, y por otro lado, fusionar con conciencia. Es decir, en mis clases muchas veces fusiono diferentes estilos, ¿vale? Pero siempre a mis alumnos les estoy diciendo de dónde viene cada paso, a qué país pertenece y de qué estilo es. Siempre.
So regarding the future, it shouldn't be Occident who marks which fusion should we have, but it should be the other way around. And also, like in my classes, what we do is like I try to understand the fusion and I explain which step comes from which country. So you can give it a name, and you can name it and you understand.
Y eso es lo que al final hace que respetemos la cultura como es, porque si no se va olvidando, va quedando en el olvido y simplemente bailo afro.
And that's how you keep the tradition and the cultural scene, right? And it's not just I dance Afro. Like, no, you don't dance Afro. You dance Afro-fusion, you dance Azonto, you dance.
Y por último, no todos los pasos tienen nombre, pero sí que queda claro a qué estilo de danza pertenece. Y siempre hablamos en términos de danza urbana.
So not all the steps have a name, but it's important that you know that they're urban dances, and we know which style are you dancing, even though you don't know the name, because it doesn't have it.
Annette, do you want to say something about your experience with dancehall?
Bueno, de alguna manera yo no siento que no puedo hablar con tanta propiedad en el tema del dancehall, porque tampoco es mi cultura. O sea, de alguna manera yo también he absorbido la cultura aquí en Europa, he aprendido también de jamaicanos, pero empecé aprendiendo de una persona europea. Entonces sí que tengo muchos conocimientos de Jamaica, pero no es mi cultura. ¿Sabes? Yo vivo al lado, pero no.
So I don't feel completely entitled to talk about the dancehall culture because it's not my culture. I started dancing and learning also from Jamaican people, but it's not something that is mine. So I just don't feel that it's my position to do it. So.
Pero sí que es verdad que pasa también algo muy parecido con lo que ha comentado Fatu, que es que el hecho de que hay muchos creadores, o sea, el dancehall funciona de alguna manera en la cual los creadores que provienen de Jamaica crean un paso, este paso se crea una canción y este paso luego se reproduce, pero hay un creador y un nombre. Entonces,
something that is similar to what Fatu said is that in dancehall, the steps are created by creators, and you have, so these people who are very important, and you have to name them, they create a step, you know the name of the step, and then they create a song.
y se ha visto muchas situaciones, tanto en Europa como en América, porque lo hemos visto, en las cuales hay profesores que enseñan esos pasos ya creados y los enseñan como suyos. Crean la coreografía, esta es mi coreografía, pero ha cogido todas las lecciones de pasos creadas por jamaicanos.
So we've seen it in Europe and also in America that you have some teachers that they will teach you a choreography with the steps that have been already created, but they teach you as their own. This is my step, this is my choreo, and they don't give the proper name to what it deserves to be done.
Sí, desde mi punto de vista es una apropiación
Y
muy
están
grande.
ganando dinero.
Sí.
And
La gente viene de gueto.
they're making profit out of it, and people that usually create these steps are from the ghetto.
So what you're saying is that giving credit is important.
Yes,
Really important.
exactly.
Perfect. I think the message is clear, loud and clear.
Yes.
So I wanted to maybe connect with this conversation because yesterday we had another conversation where I understand that not everyone here was here yesterday, but we did talk about cultural appropriation yesterday. And I think a little bit of what you're saying, Annette, is connected to that. You also kind of touched about this topic, but not saying the expression. And I just wanted to hear your thoughts about that. How someone that is not from the culture, and you're saying, Annette, that you're not, how can someone that is not from the culture participate in the culture from a respectful place? And what do you think about when they start teaching? What they need to do to approach it from a respectful way?
Ok. A ver, en primer lugar, hay que saber cuál es tu intención. Si apreciar la cultura y disfrutar de ella o sacar partido económico.
Okay, so the first thing to know is to understand which is your position. Is to learn and appreciate the culture and learn from it, or make money and take advantage of it.
Porque si tú amas una cultura y te gusta la danza y te gusta conocer y te gusta compartir, no solo la parte de la danza, sino el sentarte con nosotros a comer nuestra comida, no sé, esa es apreciación, no apropiación. Por ejemplo, bueno, si quieres tú.
Yeah, so it's not about just the dance, it's about sharing with us, sharing our food, sharing the culture, and you can tell the interest of the people that it has. So
el tema de enseñar, yo pienso que obviamente como en cualquier ámbito laboral se hace falta un recorrido pues medianamente largo y una experiencia para poder llegar a eso, pero sí que considero que en este caso, como estamos hablando de élites culturales, al final solo vas a enseñar movimientos de baile, pero no vas a poder enseñar más que eso.
okay, so regarding the job, it's of course like if you enter to any career, you just need to have some experience. But not only the years of experience, the thing is, this is about a culture. So if you don't acknowledge the culture and if you don't understand and learn it, you're just teaching steps. You're not transmitting that cultural flavor.
Yeah. Entonces, hay personas que, por ejemplo, quieren dar clases de Azonto, pero no ubican Ghana en el mapa.
So for instance, there are people who want to teach Azonto, but they don't know where Ghana is in the map.
Entonces, normalmente lo que pasa es esto. Sí que es verdad que me he podido encontrar con personas que tienen esta apreciación y que les encanta y que todo, pero estas personas no tienen el objetivo de acabar enseñando y acabar monetizando este conocimiento.
It is true that I've met lots of people that want to learn and are interested, in the culture, but these people, they don't want to make profit out of it. They don't want to take advantage of the culture.
Sí, y no sé si había una parte más de la pregunta que creo que hay algo que quería decir, pero se me ha olvidado.
Yeah.
Eso, sí, ahí va, perfecto, gracias.
We're connected.
Traductora, exacto. Entonces, sí, exacto. ¿Cómo se puede aportar? Porque eso está ahí, las dos, gracias. El tema de aportar. Aportar dándonos espacio para poder llegar a ello. Es decir, yo como mujer negra, aun siendo nacida y criada en España, he tenido mucho más difícil el acceso a trabajar en las escuelas de danza. Es decir, a mí me ha abierto las puertas una persona blanca que ya trabajaba en el ámbito de la danza, que me dijo, mira, sustitúyame tú esta clase. O sea, en este caso fue, Aida Prima Cali, de Actitud Dancehall Crew. Ella pues me metió en su grupo, ella tenía el acceso ya y un recorrido en la danza, entonces ella me pudo ir introduciendo poco a poco en estos ámbitos y de ahí obviamente pues mi trabajo, mi faena, hasta que pude tener yo el reconocimiento mínimo para poder llegar.
So yes, if you want to help and you are interested in sharing with the culture, something that you can do is to give us access. Because me, I quote, me as a black woman, I didn't have the access. Actually, the person who gave me the access to teach and the opportunity to dance was a white person who gave me the opportunity to learn from her, and then I could get some recognition. And okay, this is me, this is Fatu, and I can do this. But first, she needed the access.
Entonces, no voy a decir que si no fuera por esta persona no habría llegado hasta donde soy, pero fue un atajo bastante importante en mi vida profesional y nunca lo voy a negar, porque soy consciente en qué contexto social vivo.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that I'm not thankful with this person, but I know that I had the advantage that because of her, because I was friends with her, I could access to this platform and get to be known by that. So it's not something that I will deny, but it's something that I acknowledge.
Yeah. Entonces, lo último es que precisamente desde Melanin Team estamos trabajando para que ahora personas negras o racializadas podamos ceder el espacio a otras personas negras y racializadas y no tener que pasar siempre por ese puente blanco, ¿no?, que nos facilite las cosas.
Yeah, so this is what we from Melanin Team want to do. We want to create access for other black people and people of color without going under the white bridge of the privilege. We want to be the ones who opens the doors and not the other way around.
Annette, do you want to add something?
Sí, bueno, yo todo lo que añada será con referencia al dancehall o al twerk, ya que es lo que más.
Everything I say, it's referred to dancehall or twerk. Just bear that in mind.
Sí, yo creo que el punto efectivamente está en la intención con la que haces las cosas. Porque, por ejemplo, pongo mi propio ejemplo, el cual yo no soy de la cultura del dancehall, pero yo empecé a recibir clases de dancehall. Me enamoré de esa cultura primero, ¿vale? Me enamoré aprendiendo de esa cultura, no enseñándola. Y después de muchos años, cuando empecé a impartirla, yo siempre he tenido, pues, lo que hablábamos antes, ¿no?, de respeto a los creadores, que hablamos, ¿no?
So, just to bear in mind, the way that I introduced myself to dancehall, I fell in love with the culture, not just about the dance, it was the culture. And I started receiving lessons, and the most important thing is that I always gave credit to the creators, always.
Entonces, en mis clases de danza, yo siempre menciono a los creadores, pongo vídeos de los creadores, pongo vídeos de cómo bailan allí, que es muy diferente. Enseño el paso y tengo mucha conciencia de explicarle a las personas de dónde proviene. ¿Qué pasa? Que al hacer esto, si luego esta persona consigue hacer un tour, por ejemplo, por Europa, que vienen gracias a que muchas personas hemos podido mencionar a esta persona, pues también tiene muchas más posibilidades de ser conocido, de salir de Jamaica, de ganarse la vida como realmente le pertoca.
So, always in my classes, what I do, I teach the moves, but I also show videos of the creators. I show how do they dance because it's very different than how we do it here. And it's always important to give credit, and especially, for example, if this artist, if this dancer gets the chance to leave Jamaica and come here, that will be because of the repercussion that we have in globalization, and we're sharing it, and we also help give them the chance to be out and share. And of course, if they're here, you have to go and learn from the source.
Amazing.
Y una pequeña cosa, y es que, apuntando a lo de Annette, es que esto se tuvo que luchar muchísimo. O sea, hubo de verdad verdadera reivindicación desde jamaicanos, desde su casa, desde sus teléfonos, diciendo, por favor, dejar de robarnos, que es que no tenemos medio de sacarnos la vida. Tú estás cobrando a lo mejor con tus clases 2.500 euros al mes y yo estoy aquí con 4 euros que nadie me paga nada porque lo subo en redes.
Yeah, so it's been a very important movement in Jamaica. Like, people will be on their phones and be like, okay, so stop robbing us. We're creating this and you're just watching the video and making a profit out of it. Like, I only can get like €4 and you're getting like 1,000 a month just because of me. No, you need to help me. If you're looking at me, you just need to help out and contribute to the culture.
And stay connected to the creators, obviously, and pay, how do you say? And
Homage, pay homage and be humble.
yeah.
Like, be humble.
Ahora tenemos clases online, podemos pagar a los bailarines desde el otro mundo y tomar las clases, porque obviamente tenemos que ser conscientes de nuestra realidad. Y a lo mejor yo no tengo 2.000 euros para cogerme a Jamaica un mes, bueno, pero puedo pagar 20 euros una clase de hora y media por internet, que además al cambio seguramente es más dinero. Claro.
Yeah, so, and also take the advantage of, like, in the area that we're living, we can take online classes. So maybe I don't have the money to go straight to Jamaica and learn straight from the source, but I can pay for an online class, and I am also helping them and contributing for their growth and not taking advantage.
It's so interesting that you mentioned this work of the Jamaicans really reclaiming and telling, hey, look, this is ours. Please pay respect, pay us as well for whatever you are enjoying that is, we created it. Because we talked about a little bit before when we were having a conversation that recently in the Lindy Hop scene, there was this organization that has been created. It's called Black Lindy Hoppers Fund. And I know that you are not super familiar with this community, but the idea is, as far as I understand, it's to, for one part, get Black teachers, African American teachers, to teach to African American Black people, but also to make the white people pay for it. So it's more or less that's the idea, and I think it's a bit connected to that. I don't know, the way that I see it. I think it's somewhat related to what you're describing happened in Jamaica. So I'm gonna go to my next question, because I think you kind of mentioned it, Fatu, which is being a Black woman in Europe and teaching dance. Being a racialized woman, you know, I think there are many things that come with that. Can you share some thoughts, your experience, anything that comes to your mind when you think about being a Black woman teaching dance in Europe?
Hola, lo hago sin querer, puede ser. Ya, la pregunta me Hola.
Yeah.
Ok.
Estamos
Aquí estamos vivos. A ver, por un lado, claro, puedo hablar de lo que es en la parte de enseñar y dar clase, y luego en la parte, porque yo como bailarina, obviamente me encanta dar clase, pero a mí me gusta dar el espectáculo, porque soy una artista, me gusta subirme a un escenario, y me gusta también hacer videoclips, y me gusta hacer un montón de cosas, o sea, no solo lo que es el ámbito académico.
So on the one hand, I can talk about my experience as a teacher, yes, because I am a dancer and I love teaching, but also I am an artist and I love going on the stage. You will see me tonight.
Total. Entonces, por lo que es en la parte académica de dar clases, no he solido tener problema, pero sí he tenido como una presión. Porque se ha dado por hecho que por el simple hecho de ser negra, punto número 1, tengo que hacerlo bien, no me puedo equivocar. Y punto número 2, en España hay una frase muy común que se dice, esto lo llevas en la sangre. Y es una frase y una expresión que a mí me molesta muchísimo porque invisibiliza todo el trabajo y entrenamiento que yo he hecho durante años detrás de...
Regarding my teacher career as a dancer, I haven't had problems, to be honest, but I do had issues with two things. The first thing, it's a lot of pressure, and second of all, just because I'm black, I'm supposed to do it well. I'm supposed to have it in my blood. That's what people say in Spain. And that's something that it gets shaded by the fact that I've been trained and I practice and I learn a lot and everything stays like in the corner just because I'm black and I have it in my blood. So I'm supposed to do it well and do it right.
Y por lo que es en la parte más artística, obviamente a nivel europeo España es uno de los países más jóvenes a nivel de inmigración. Y de diversidad como más visual. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Que en lo que es en la televisión, a nivel de representación, todo eran personas blancas. Yo crecí en la televisión viendo personas blancas, en la escuela era la única mujer, o sea, la única niña negra de mi clase y así constantemente no sé qué me juntara con mis familiares que vivían en otras partes de Cataluña.
And regarding the artistic scene, it's been a little harder because in Spain it's doesn't have like a long history with immigration, especially black people. So you don't have a lot of representation. If you look on TV, if you're watching TV or any commercials, you don't see many black people. In the school, I was the only black girl. So I could only get that representation when I was meeting with my family. And that's it.
Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Que un momento en que ya quieres profesionalizarte más, quieres a lo mejor que te cojan para este videoclip o haces un casting para esto otro, no te llaman. No te llaman porque en el casting tiene que poner específicamente buscamos mujeres negras.
So in the artistic scene, yes, it became a problem because if you want to do a casting for any video clip, you don't get called because it needs to be specified that they're calling for black women. It's not just dancers. So it's segregation there. Hi, my name is Agus, by the way. I didn't introduce myself.
By the way.
The best traducer.
It's an incredible translator, by the way.
Sí,
That's what I studied. That's cool. In South America, that's what we have to do to become
Exactly.
someone in life.
Entonces, bueno, lo que pasó es que hubo un momento de mi vida en que sentí que se apagaban un poco mis sueños porque como no veía a nadie como yo en esos lugares, pues pensé, pues a mí nunca me van a llamar, a mí nunca me van a coger, yo nunca voy a actuar en este sitio. Y la verdad que ha habido un momento muy difícil porque ahora realmente es súper joven el tema de empezar a ver de esto, porque hemos empezado llenando cupos, que llenar un cupo no es lo mismo que ser diversidad, ¿no? O sea, ser diversidad.
Yeah, so at some point I just thought that, okay, my dreams will never be fulfilled. Like, I will never be that person that I want to be. I will never become the artist that I want to be, just because I don't see that representation. And yes, it's true that nowadays we get to see more people of color and black people and diversity, but it's just only to occupy one space. And it's usually very limited. And we know that it's not the same just to occupy like one spot, than being on the spot.
It's so interesting that you mentioned this because yesterday we talked about this exactly with Remy. Remy is a dancer, black dancer. And he, for a long time, felt that he was the only one, and that because he was there, then the Lindy Hop scene was not racist, you know. So the tokenism of that, which I think it's a little bit, if I understand, that you're referring to.
Es complicado. Y bueno, no sé si Annette quieres añadir algo más en esta.
Bueno, yo a nivel de clases de baile, la verdad es que aquí en Europa yo no he notado ningún trato diferente, te voy a ser 100% sincera, pero sí que he notado que, pues un poco parecido, que se ha dado por hecho que por ser latina sé bailar salsa, sé bailar bachata, sé bailar, o sea,
Todo esto.
Yeah, it's kind of the same that in the teaching area I hadn't had any struggles, to be honest. But yes, as I am Latina, I'm supposed to know how to dance salsa and yeah, you know.
y luego en el mundo artístico en general, ¿no? En lo que es videoclip, lo que es el mundo de la noche, el baile también, sí que es verdad que yo, por mi tono de piel, Estoy como en ese límite en el cual eres negra pero no tan negra, por lo tanto te acepto, pero te acepto uno. Por ejemplo, bueno, traduce ahora.
Yeah, so in regards of the dance scene and the nightclub scene as well, I'm also in the struggle of like, because of my skin tone, yeah, I'm black, but I'm not that black.
Por ejemplo, yo he bailado en una discoteca en Barcelona en la cual me escogieron, pero entró otra chica negra. Éramos 6 bailarinas. Entonces, en el momento que entró esa chica negra y bailamos a la vez, uno de los jefes dijo, esto no puede volver a pasar. O sea, si hay 2 negras, se tienen que turnar. Una los lunes y la otra los miércoles, porque es demasiada negritud.
Yeah,
y eso es real.
It happened to me in a nightclub that I used to dance. I was the only black girl, and then another one came. And one of the bosses says, we were 6 girls of us, and the boss said, okay, there cannot be 2 black girls together. They have to take turns. One night could be one, and then the next night could be the other one, but not both of them together. Whereas the other 4 girls, yes, they could be together, right? Not them, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing. I don't know if you wanted to say something else.
Sí, no, al final concluir con que es una falsa aceptación, porque si somos demasiados queda mal, es degradante, le baja el nivel. Entonces es como, no es una aceptación real, es un, me estoy limpiando la imagen.
Yes, it's just not an honest way of accepting us. It's just like, I'm cleaning my image. Oh, yeah, yes, I have 1 black girl, that's it. Yeah, that's the diversity I have.
Basically, because there is pressure for them to have a diverse cast, so they have to check the box. Right? So I'm gonna ask my last question, and I'm like fast answer, and then we open up. But I would love to understand, because also in this community, one topic that we have been discussing a lot and trying to improve our community is around toxic masculinity, sexism, and gender-based violence. And I would love to hear your thoughts and experiences of how these topics are being dealt in your own communities.
Pues sí, el problema del machismo, sobre todo a nivel cuando trabajamos en videoclips, ¿no? Y sobre todo en ámbitos más como más trapping, más, ¿no? Más así, es que ya sufrimos bastante discriminación y sí, malos tratos o nos violentan por ser mujeres, pero además si somos mujeres racializadas se nos sexualiza. No es que tú como bailas, no es que tú en la cama, no es que tú tal, entonces a esta le pongo un poco más corto y a la otra la tapo más, como dando por hecho de que nos gusta el libertinaje, porque como vimos, y al final es un pensamiento muy racista y muy de raíz de la época colonial, de pensar que las mujeres negras pues no, a nivel sexual no se controlaban y que eran como unas fieras y todo, y esto a día de hoy se mantiene. Esto a día de hoy se mantiene y o sea, al principio, cuando tienes 20... Ay, sí, perdón. Perdóname, amiga, sorry.
I'm trying to keep everything on my mind.
Aprenderé inglés, lo prometo.
Yes, so regarding in the area of like video clips and stuff, yeah, we get there to work and we get like mistreated because we're women, but if you're a woman of color, it's even worse because you get to be sexualized and you're black and you know how to move and look, you're so sexy and you must be based in bed and all these thoughts that are very colonial, you know, yes. Yes, and sometimes they put us on this footage of like, okay, I'm gonna give her something shorter to wear because she's the exotic one though, no?
Sí, entonces, no, o sea, yo por ser negra o Annette por ser latina, ¿no? Porque también en España se ha comentado mucho, no, es que las latinas tienen la sangre caliente, dando por hecho o dando que, ¿no? Las mujeres latinas, o sea, dando una imagen de ellas que no, sí, como calientes, como... sí, bueno, igual sí lo soy, pero... pero no por ser negra. Entonces, en ese aspecto sí que es esto. Y luego también está la otra parte, ¿no?, de atacar a la moneda, que obviamente en todos los ámbitos sociales encontramos pues que, ¿no?, lo que es el género masculino o el sexo masculino está como el que marca las pautas, ¿no?
Claro.
Y esto en la danza también pasa. Entonces, cuando se ve bailar a un chico y hacer un wow, es súper wow, y cuando una chica hace a lo mejor exactamente lo mismo, pues es menos aquí y en las Olimpiadas. Entonces, un poco va por ahí
So,
igual.
as we were joking, just because we say, yeah, they're just for being black women or Latinas, people think that we're just horny, whatever, no? No. So we get mistreated, and then on the other side, yes, it's a male-dominated scene as well. So if a male dancer do some tricks or some steps, it's like, wow, look what he did. And then if a girl does the same, it's like, yeah, and what else? You know? So that's something that happens here and in the Olympic Games. Right? That's what she said. Literal. Yes.
En esa línea va.
Yeah, it's just not only the Occident, but the male Occidental way of thinking.
Annette, do you want to add something?
Bueno, yo bailo twerk. Creo que con eso lo digo todo.
Guys, I twerk.
Yo bailo twerk y bueno, ya os podéis imaginar todo lo que he recibido. Por poner un ejemplo, me gustan mucho los ejemplos. Yo, aparte de bailar, soy técnico de laboratorio en un hospital veterinario y yo lo tengo escrito en mi Instagram, igual que pongo que soy bailarina. Y recuerdo que recibí un comentario de un hombre que se reía y decía, jajaja, ¿qué vas a hacer tú si solo sabes mover el culo? O sea, dan por hecho que por el hecho de hacer twerk no puedo pensar. O sea,
So, yes, I twerk, and you can imagine that everything that I receive from comments and, yes, presumptions. So, apart from twerking and being a twerk teacher, I also work in a vet clinic in a laboratory. That's what I do. That's my profession. And I have that written on my bio on my Instagram. I have like dancer and laboratory technique. Yes. And one guy once just told me like, ha ha ha. Yeah, you're junkie. Like, you can only move your ass. That's it. I can't believe you also think.
yes.
Right?
Wow.
Y si nos ponemos así, ella es profesora de inglés, socióloga, la otra es criminóloga, la otra del grupo que no ha podido venir hoy, Jennifer, te mandamos un beso. Es decir, no tienen nada que ver, pero es que pasa mucho. O sea, cualquiera de nosotras que decimos cuál es nuestra profesión, sí, wow,
Sí.
¿sabes? Como, pues sí, he ido a la universidad, tranqui.
That's what we do. Like the four of us, because we have one partner, she's missing. We all have other professions, and when people see what we do, it's like, or even just now, the way that I'm speaking and I translate. I'm not lying. That's what I started because I knew that in South America, if I wanted to be someone, I had to be perfect at speaking English because people will take me more seriously.